Hey guys, it's Wowous. We're here with Heroes of the Storm, and today this is the second video in a series we're doing about for new players what to spend your gold on, which heroes at that 7,000 price point you should spend your gold on. Our last video we talked about all these 2,000 heroes and all the 4,000 gold heroes, so that's up to Rhaegar here. So I'm going to just turn down the sound while we do this, so they don't talk to me every time. And so we're going to just quickly run through each character, and I'm going to give you a quick opinion of it if you're a new player and trying to learn whether or not these characters are an effective use of your gold, or if you should wait and maybe try pick them up later. So Alaric, I would say no, I wouldn't pick up him. He is very dependent on you using telekinesis with his Q. It's similar to Kerrigan's. You need to push or pull and then strike in a timed manner. So I would avoid picking him up immediately. I think there are more effective assassins for new players to learn that you can make more of an impact with. Artanis, I would say yes. Artanis is actually my personal highest win rate hero. He has a lot of great strengths. He's great at auto attacking. He's got a little bit of a skill shot, right, with this prism, and you really need to be able to dash and then prism. But I think it's easier than Alaric. So I think especially if you're comparing like skill shots, I think his skill shot is a little bit easier to learn. It's a little bit more forgiving. It's a little you have a little bit more in terms of timing, and there's a few different ways that you can jump, and maybe I'll do a video on that at some point of the different ways you can dash and then prism. He also has some great ultimates, so I would say yes, Artanis is a great pickup. Arthas, I would say yes, he's a pretty good pickup. He's a little bit more challenging to play than other heroes I found, but your combo is really, you can Howling Blast and freeze characters where they are. You can use Frozen Tempest and really freeze them. And then he's got two interesting ults. I really like his Summon, but actually his Army of the Dead I think is a better ultimate overall. And at least in terms of statistically, he's a little bit better, but I would say he's a pretty good purchase, especially if you like warriors. He's pretty easy to learn. Brightwing, I would say yes, especially if you're a support. Brightwing has a very unique playstyle. She heals around her with her trait every 4 seconds, and so it's a little bit different than a lot of the other healers in the game. But I think she's a lot of fun to play, and the polymorph is super effective at stopping enemies, and I like both of her ultimates as well. So I think Brightwing is a great choice, especially if you want to pick up another support. Butcher. Butcher's a tough one, right? So you can get absolutely stomped, or you can absolutely stomp with Butcher, and it all depends on how quickly you can build up his trait and that team coordination. Everybody who's played for a while has been in a game with a Butcher who cannot collect enough meat and keeps getting killed. If you throw up, 9 or 10 if you died 9 or 10 deaths in the game, you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you're playing with that Butcher, or if you are that Butcher. So I would play him on a free week and see how effective you are with him. He's very dependent on your team, so if you're going in solo queue, he can be very difficult. I think he's a lot of fun to play, but he can also be very miserable if you don't get off to a strong start. So if you're playing with friends who can really support you, I think it's a great pickup. Otherwise, I think he's pretty good, but I think you'll find that he can get stopped pretty easily. Let's talk about D.Va. So she is a very unique warrior. She's got a lot of survivability. I really think that she's interesting to play. She's not my favorite hero by any means, but I think she just has a unique play style. She's got a lot of tankiness. If you're looking to pick up a character who can really just survive in the long term, I'd recommend her. I really like her big shot, especially when you upgrade it at level 20. The nuke is fine, the self-destruct. The boosters are a lot of fun to play with. So overall, I'd say yes, D.Va is a good pickup. So let's go on to Falstad. Falstad is a pretty effective assassin. He seems to have weakened over the last couple of months in terms of some tweaks and whatnot. He's got a really great lightning rod. He's got a really great hammerang. His barrel roll is a lot of fun to play with. Both of his ultimates are pretty good. Hinterland Blast is definitely the preferred one right now statistically, but I think Mighty Gust has its place as well, although it definitely has not been as popular as of late. He is a little bit more difficult than some assassins, I think. Again, I kind of put him in that that middle ground. If you are a good assassin player and you're looking to pick somebody up, I think Falstad is a good choice. If you are somebody who dies a lot with assassins, I probably would avoid him. He can be very squishy. Greymane, I think Greymane is very difficult to play effectively. I think I would avoid him as a new player. I think if he's somebody that you really want to spend a lot of time with, great Greymane players can be really, really excellent. But I think as a new player, he's very challenging to do effectively. So I would encourage you to probably try him out on a free week, but I would say probably avoid him and pick some of the other assassins first so that you can get to know them better. Gul'dan is very interesting because of his trait. He doesn't regenerate mana, but you have to use your health to regenerate it. So he plays very differently than a lot of characters, but he also has a drain life ability. So he can take a minion or an enemy hero and take their life away and then utilize that for mana. He is a really awesome assassin. I think he's a great assassin to learn on. And he has some great ultimates, including I like his Horrify, where you can kind of drop this down and everyone runs away. And so I think he is a good hero for beginners to learn with, and he's a lot of fun to play as well. Yes, I think you absolutely have to pick up Cal. Cal is really that glass cannon. He's a nuke hero where he uses all these fire abilities to cause a lot of fire. The biggest mistake that I see new players make with Cal, and I could probably do a whole video on this, is that you need to utilize his living bomb with his verdant spears. So you turn this on, you get the free living bomb, and then you can launch a second, or you can wait another 6 seconds and launch it again for free. A lot of players just keep using D and Q. You want to use D and W. That's really where his strength is. So I would recommend him. He is labeled a hard hero, and he can be a little bit difficult to learn, but I think he's a lot of fun. And for me, again, he's another hero that's just a lot of fun to play as a new hero, because you can pretty easily hit W on people. You just click them. The E, you can, it's just a skill shot, and then Q, you're just aiming for a huge section of ground. I would probably avoid the monk right now. He is very challenging. He's got a great trait at level 1 to make him a better healer, but what you're going to find is that frequently he can't keep up with the healing of the other characters, and especially in a solo queue match, right, you're going to be falling behind, I think, in general with him. He's not a bad character by any means. He's not like one of these Chens or a character that can't win. He is definitely winnable, but you can get put in with some really weird team comps where you're the only healer, and if you don't select that trait or that talent at level 1, Transcendence, to heal, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I think he's an okay pickup. I probably would pick Brightwing or one of the other healers first. Leoric, I would say yes, he's a very easy hero to learn. He is alive whenever you're dead, so there's no downtime when you're playing him. So that's just something to be aware of. Both of his ultimates are a lot of fun, but yes, he's a very easy warrior to learn and a lot of fun to play. Li-Ming, I would say yes. You want to learn how to play Li-Ming. Li-Ming can deal probably more damage than almost any other assassin in the game, especially when you can Arcane Orb well, when you can use her Disintegrate well. That's really, in my opinion, the only option for her ultimate. I would not utilize the Wave of Force, although it definitely has become more popular over time, but I think she's a good choice. Lieutenant Morales, I think, yes, is a great healer to learn single target healing on and how to prioritize. I just did another video on Lieutenant Morales. I'd suggest you watch that to see some of the mistakes that new players make. But yes, I think Lieutenant Morales is a great healer to pick up. Lunara. Lunara is pretty easy to learn. They just reworked her a couple months back, and I think she's a lot of fun. She does a lot of damage over time, but that can be a little bit different than a lot of the other heroes in the game. So you just have to get used to a little bit of a different play style, but both her ultimates are fun, and it is a lot of fun to just sort of ping at people from far away. So I'd say yes, she's a pretty good pickup for an assassin. Murky. I think Murky is a must-own. Murky really teaches you a very different style of play. It's all about how you can push, how you can annoy the other team, how you can harass in the middle of a team fight, how you can become the target and get the rest of your team out. So I think a good Murky player is a good team player. So I think that if you can figure out how to play Murky and play Murky well, you'll be able to utilize Murky well too in games where you're playing with Murky. So he is a little bit harder than some of the other characters to learn. He's very different, but I think that different playstyle will be a huge advantage to you as you play in the game. So I would definitely pick up Murky. Nova. I loved Nova when the game came out. They substantially changed Nova a while back now. Nova used to be my most played hero. I got her up to level 10 at the time, which is now level 15 almost immediately because I just played her basically nonstop. But she has been weakened significantly. She has no wave clear. All she can kind of do is pick off single targets. In real good games, you're not going to see Nova be that successful, unfortunately. So she can be fun to play, but I wouldn't rush out and pick her up. Regnerus, I would say yes. Regnerus is both a great assassin, but his lava wave is just an incredible wave clear. You can do probably more siege damage with Regnerus than almost any other character in the game, and so he's a lot of fun. His talent here, or his trait that he can turn into a molten core, is sometimes almost game breaking on some levels where you can really put it down and stop a push. So he is a really great hero to learn, and a really great hero to have in your collection. Rhaegar, I would say yes, he's a good support hero. He's a pretty strong healer. He's also got a pretty great totem. I really like his ultimate here, the Ancestral Healing, that you can kind of drop one huge heal on a character. And he's a lot of fun to keep shapeshifting into a wolf. So yes, a good pickup, especially if you like to play support. Sergeant Hammer is an absolute yes. Sergeant Hammer is a beast in the lane, one of the highest win rate healers right now. You can just kind of sit there with your siege mode and ping people away. You can utilize either of the ultimates. I personally prefer Napalm, but I know a lot of folks like to use Blunt Force Gun in the game as well. Both have their advantages. So yes, definitely pick up Sergeant Hammer. Stitches. I really like Stitches' rework that they just pushed out in November, December, but I think Stitches is a difficult hero to be good at. You have to be able to land hooks. Not a terrible hero to learn how to skill shot on, but I wouldn't rush out and pick up Stitches. Still doesn't have a super high win rate in the game, certain things are fun. The Putrid Bile is fun. The Gorge is fun to play with and throw people behind a wall. But I think Stitches just doesn't quite meet the needs of the meta right now. So I probably would hold off on him initially. Sylvanas is tough. They just work Sylvanas at the same time they rework Stitches. I didn't love Sylvanas' rework, but she's gotten a lot of success at the pro level, at that sort of high level, if there even is a pro level anymore, and Heroes of the Storm, it seems like that's fallen off. But Sylvanas has definitely seen a huge win rate increase. Not my favorite style of play. I prefer to be able to split push, and they really are moving away from that. But I think Sylvanas overall is a good choice, a very different style of play, a really cool trait that you can utilize. But she, in my opinion, I don't like her as much as I used to, but I'm probably in the minority in that. Zarya is an awesome warrior. She is sometimes nearly unkillable. She's got one of the best heroics in the game, in my opinion. The Graviton Surge, you can suck players in, and if you combo it with the right other ultimates, if you can trap them in some of the other characters' ultimates that are really location bound, you can do quite a bit of damage, and you can sometimes wipe an entire team if you combo a couple of ultimates at the same time. So definitely a good pickup at that warrior level. It's pretty easy to play. I think that's 100% true. It's all about shielding, building up that damage, and then just trapping people here with your ultimate. So that does it for this video to talk about the 7,000 gold heroes. And we'll just quickly run through, again, kind of a yes, no, maybe for if you should pick these up as a new player. Alaric, I'd say no. Artanis, yes. Arthas, probably. Brightwing, yes. Butcher, maybe. Diva, yes. Falstad, no. I'd say Greymane, no. Gul'dan, yes. Cal, yes. I'd say no here to the Monk. Leoric, I would say yes. Li-Ming, I'd say yes. Lieutenant Morales, yes. Lunara, yes. Murky, yes. Nova, no. Regnerus, yes. Rhaegar, yes. Sergeant Hammer, yes. Stitches, no. Sylvanas, no. And Zarya, yes. So as you can see, pretty much a kind of a split, probably a little bit more yeses than nos. I think most of these heroes are pretty effective. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and I hope to do our last video, which will be our 10,000 gold heroes in the coming weeks. Thanks.